Remember when radio actually mattered? I mean, what happened? Radio was once the primary source of news and entertainment for the entire human species. Everyone used to have a radio, and not just in their cars. Radio was such an afterthought. We don't even bring it up when we talk about the biggest failures of big corporations like Blockbuster or BlackBerry. And if you turn on the radio today, it's only three things: politics, sports talk, and if it is music, no matter what genre, it's the same song every day. Radio had, and maybe, kind of, still has the chance to be this revolutionary thing that can change how video and audio content is consumed. But at literally every single chance, they did the wrong thing. The radio in 2025 is just being kept alive by sports radio and sports talk and all that stuff in like the 3, 4, 5 biggest cities in the country. That's it. And politics, because everything is so dumb, stupid, and messed up right now. Any music station is just pre-recorded garbage. And as far as your local rock radio station, you have a better chance of discovering new music on TikTok. And you know what? That's what everybody's doing! I honestly think radio is still around just because it comes pre-installed in your car, like that one U2 album. And I know Bluetooth and all of that different stuff, but hey, some of us are driving crappy old cars from 20 years ago that don't even have a cassette player. Like, when's the last time you turned on the radio? And not like your car radio, like a radio, or even listen to the radio on your phone. Never. Probably never, right? Because it doesn't offer anything. Everything is worse on radio than it is on every single other platform. Radio's big problem is that it relies too much on music. Yeah, you heard me. It relies too much on music. Now's probably a good time to tell you why I care so much. Well, because I went to school for radio. I know, but trust me, there is no mean comment that you can leave that's going to hurt more than these student loans. Trust me. Oh, I almost forgot. A minor in acting as well. I also ran Chicago punk rock radio, so if you ever listened to that, thank you. I remember telling my teachers at the time that I thought the future of radio was personalities and not music, and they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, like, take an hour of radio. I think you should only play 2, 3, maybe 4 songs. And when I tell you, the way they looked at me was like I was saying that the sky was green. They could not believe the words coming out of my mouth. And they were like, what else are you going to fill like the time with if you're only playing a small amount of songs? And I was like, me, my personality, me, because people like people that are passionate about things that they're passionate about. Like, maybe you make a 30-minute video about the history of emo and almost 100,000 people watch that video, and then they choose to continue following that person because they like that topic or they like that person's personality. What a crazy idea. I felt like I was crazy, and then they asked me about ads, and I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, ads, where are we going to, put all the ads during all of this? And I was like, ads? You mean, and even at the time, and college for me was like, 2015, 16, 17, stuff like that. And they were like, ads, what about ads? And I was like, you mean the things that are in YouTube videos and we skip anyway? And even at the time, ads were in podcasts already. And it was like, yeah, the thing that we skip and move on anyway? Hey everyone, don't forget to check out the second channel, almost at 1,000 subscribers. So I would really appreciate it if you checked it out. I talk about sports, games, wrestling, Godzilla, a whole bunch of stuff. So go ahead and check out that channel. I'd really appreciate it. I swear to you, there was a passionate group of us in college who, I don't want to say that we saw the entire podcast thing coming, but we knew that you had to make a shift from just this music and talking for 5 seconds between every song. We knew that there was going to be, or that there should have been, this switch from music to personalities. And at every single turn, even at college, where you're supposed to be experimenting and trying these new things, we were shut down at every single turn. There were also people trying to make the term audiocast a thing, because of course, a video part of a podcast is something that would never happen. It would never catch on. Radio could have been this cool thing where you focus on personalities and build a community, but instead they wanted to focus on playlists and that strategy, and nobody cares anymore. The funniest thing about all of this is that podcasts are just radio. Long-form conversation, that was radio. Call-in segments, radio. Talking about controversial and intense topics, radio. Podcasts actually adapted to what people wanted, and they're also on demand. They're personal. Radio had all the ingredients to dominate the space. I mean, look at something like NPR's Tiny Desk. How many people who watch NPR's Tiny Desk actually listen to the NPR radio station? I'm sure there are people out there who don't even know NPR is a radio station. Radio should have been the place where people go to discover music. It should be the place for music nerds to come together and nerd out about music. Kind of like how old ESPN was just a bunch of sports nerds talking about sports. Rock radio, for example. If you're not playing Knocked Loose, Poppy, Spiritbox, The Story So Far, Turnstile, what are you doing? Rock radio already pissed away the 2010s. I mean, imagine if that entire emo, pop punk, punk rock revival happened on the radio, or at least had the help of radio. If you had bands like Modern Baseball, Title Fight, The Wonder Years, Menzingers, Pup, Joyce Manor, if you had those bands all over the radio, how things would have been different. And I'm not saying never play the hits. Everybody likes the hits, but they're not even playing the modern hits. They're not even playing hits from 10, 15 years ago. I mean, King for a Day by Pierce the Veil had this entire resurgence on TikTok over the last few years. How is that not on every rock radio station? My Chemical Romance has never been more popular or more profitable, and no one is playing Foundations of Decay. I like Nirvana, Deftones, and the Beastie Boys just like everybody else, but I mean, rock radio hasn't even entered the 2010s. And the worst part about all of this is radio doesn't have to suck. Stations should have a bunch of hosts that are passionate and love the music that they're talking about. They should be playing fun, weird, local, underground music. That's how you build a fan base and a community. People don't want a corporate voice. They want someone passionate. They want someone along the journey with them while they're listening to a bunch of songs or a playlist. They don't want another corporate playlist, because you have those on Spotify or Apple Music. Both of those platforms, or at least Spotify, even is taking this idea and using the AI DJ or whatever. But if you were a radio station, you can actually hire a human to talk passionately about the music that they're playing. Social media has proven time and time and again that people engage with personalities that they like. And the radio needs to figure that out and needs to catch on. Nobody cares about the same 5 songs every hour of every day. But they would care about a host that's passionate, entertaining, that's fun, that's knowledgeable about the music, that can talk about the deep cuts, that is just fun and passionate and loves music. What a crazy idea. The entire industry is controlled by 3 companies: iHeartMedia, Odyssey, and Cumulus. And it doesn't matter. They're all stuck in time and they all refuse to innovate. Radio has the tools to adapt, but they're just stuck in autopilot. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe so I can pay off all of these student loans. You have no idea how many times I just did that.